Hello everybody, SDM Kahuna here, joined yet again by my cohort, companion, fellow gamer, long-time life partner, SDM Outcastzero. How you doing, Outcast?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. I'm a bit camera shy at this moment though, I've got to say.
Yes, to those of you who've actually bothered watching some of our videos, we're going for a slightly different format here. Experimenting with some new toys, some new trickery, so give you the more personal touch. Obviously this is, I think, the first time my visage has been on YouTube since my Ice Bucket Challenge, which Outcast, you'll recall, were responsible for getting me to do.
Was I responsible for that?
Yes.
Maybe. I think I might admit to it.
No, responsible is it. You named me and I was left with no choice, shamed in front of the known world. But again, we are here today to discuss Destiny. Oh, Destiny.
Yay!
Yeah, Destiny. Yeah, I titled the last video The Honeymoon is Over. We're definitely past any sort of... well, I'm certainly past any period where I'm willing to cut the game any more slack. What about yourself?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm starting to think about divorce, you know. But no, definitely, I'm getting bored. I'm getting bored.
Well, it's one of these things. It's like I know the net is alive with very similar complaints to what we're going to put out here. I realise Bungie are taking steps to address this. I realise that we set out with hope and joy in our hearts with the very first video, and I jokingly requested that if anybody from Bungie was watching, that if you wanted to bestow upon us any free DLC codes and such. I realise the opportunity for that is now long since past, because if a Bungie employee does watch this, we'll be lucky if we don't get the ban hammer on our account. But yeah, no, the repetitive is a word I'm going to use.
Yeah.
I think you kind of mirror me on that front. I know we're both playing on separate platforms, but the repetition...
It's the repetitions is killing me a little bit, to be honest. I mean, I come home from work today and I spent about 3 hours on it. And there was no one else online, so I was kind of bored a little bit. So it was just me. So I'm doing like the Vanguard missions. And it's just... Obviously, it's the exact same thing over and over again. Unless I magically get an epic bounty mission, which I've still not gotten yet, but you never know, it might happen. But yeah, it's just so repetitive. It's like, go here, like kill 100 fallen, but with headshots, and go over there and kill this walker, what the hell the tank is with legs, 3 times. And even though you'll only actually get it if you get the kill.
But make sure you get the last shot, yes.
Yeah, it's like, and then you go back and you rinse and repeat, and it's just like, they're too short. There's not that many bounties, and for it, for the fact is that you go back and you can repeat them over again, it's nonsense. It's just, if they had like a whole bunch of like the Vanguard missions and a whole bunch of the Crucible, then you kind of forgive it. But there's only like what, 5, something like that.
At this
variants.
Stage, yeah, there's. Well, I think we did even say in video number 1, we were hoping that the later missions would offer context is the wrong word. Variety is the word I was looking for. Literally, point A, point B, kill everything in between.
Yeah.
We knew this, we accepted this. However, I know I've drawn comparisons in the past with Borderlands, and I know a lot of the internet community has as well. Oh, it's just Borderlands, but it's online. Yeah, but at least with Borderlands, I was constantly rewarded with loot.
Yeah.
My guns kept getting better. Now, while they might not necessarily have been guns that I wanted to use, there was variety. I could switch it up, I could change. Right about now, I've played about the last 10 hours almost with the same gun, because I haven't gotten anything better yet. I mean, I was talking to you earlier before we started the broadcast. I've just ranked up to level 22. I know that's miles behind everybody else, and I do apologise to the Destiny community and my fellow cohorts with which I do play Destiny with. I know I'm the bane of their existence, and I'm holding us all back from the raid. And I'm sorry. I do have commitments. So which are do you outcast others?
Yeah, well, I'm the same when it comes to weapons, to be honest. It's like, it was funny, earlier today I got 2 legendary Ingrams, and they were both for weaponry. So I'm like, yes, I'm getting a new gun! Yee! So I runs up to what the Cryptarch's name is, and he gives me back Motes of Light. I'm like,
yes, that's exactly what I wanted. You know, that's precisely what I needed to advance.
it's like, and the worst part is,
not.
the Motes of Light are completely useless. Like, except for if you want to get yourself a legendary armband, you know, to be all hip and cool.
Well, they do certainly have use, but the problem is it's only for really high-level gear. And therein lies a problem. Literally tonight before we came on to do this podcast, I ran 2 of the Queen's missions with some of my buddies, Absolutely and Riser, and you know these guys very generously gave up the time to drag my sorry lagging ass with them to get me my first bit of legendary gear, because I had no luck with the drops, and to be honest I haven't played for the last 4 days at least. Now I complete the first mission and I got my first legendary bit of kit. I got legendary chest plate. It's purple, it's gold. If Prince played Destiny, this is the shit he'd wear. And I'm cool with that, I'm a big Prince fan. Man rocks my world. But then we decided, so, okay, well, I think it was the weekly we decided to run, Queen's Mission. Right, we'll rock out, we'll do that, and we'll get you like a secondary piece, and hopefully we'll get like a helmet, or gauntlets, or some boots. So, there's, you know, that out of 4 pieces, that's a 75% chance that I'm going to roll and get a piece of equipment I need. 75%. Those are good odds.
Oh, yes.
I have gone out and come home with somebody else on lower odds than that. Okay? Blow my own trumpet there, but sometimes you just got to.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. And yeah, I got rickrolled. I got the same damn chess piece again. And it's like, now this is only my second run through these missions, but that has instantly increased my frustration with them. It's like, does this mean that I'm going to roll it again? It's like, you know, obviously diminishing percentages, but it's a roll every time. It's not guaranteed, oh, well, you've done it 5 times, so this time you're definitely going to get it. No, it's the same percentage roll every time. There doesn't seem to be any consideration or comparative to what you already have.
And was the chess piece actually worse than what you already had from the first time you went through?
No, it was the exact same piece.
Oh, it was exactly the same.
It was the Queen's Wrath, purple and gold, Prince-like chess piece that I'd just gotten 20 minutes before.
Well, the thing is with mine, I went through it a whole bunch of times and kept on getting chest plates, and I must have got about 4 altogether, and every single one of them was consecutively worse than the last. And I couldn't quite understand it. I'm like, okay, fair enough, I got the good one the first time around, but why does it keep on giving me these equally crap ones and not a goddamn helmet? And I don't think anyone's getting gloves or boots from it. I don't think that's even a possibility, unless you guys out there know. Let us know in the comments and whatnot, but I've never heard of anyone getting any.
Well, I know, like I say, the guys I've played with have got some good drops from it. Like, absolutely got the helm this evening. But Riser and I both rocked the chess piece the twice we did it, and I am disheartened because, well, we said, you know, I've come off the back of saying that Bungie have done a fantastic job of creating an MMO with no experience of having done it, because what they actually did is built a good, solid back end. I know people have had problems with disconnects. I've often stated I've had seldom issue with that. The only problems I've had is when Xbox Live has been at fault, or there's been recent patch updates, and that's expected. But aside from that, been smooth.
Yeah.
However, now that the sheen of that has worn off, and we now have we've hit that end game point. I've played the same missions over and over and over and over and over again. I've seen what the world has to offer 15 times over. I am now repeating these same missions to hopefully get drop better gear. Now, I'm going to stop myself right there because, right, I absolutely loved Diablo 3. As I had it on the PC, I have it on the PC, and I also bought it for the Xbox One when the Ultimate Evil Edition came out, just because I felt like replaying it.
Yeah.
Now, you complete the story in Diablo 3 pretty quick. There's maybe about 15 hours if you take your time with it. You easily roll through it in 8 to 10 if you speedrun it. But once you complete that, you have the option of replaying the story again on subsequently difficult modes up until you hit Ultimate Super Evil Badass level where it's permadeath. Now, that scared the ever-loving hell out of me. It's like I couldn't push myself to do that. I was too invested in my character.
Oh, yes.
That was at least a progressive difficulty spike, not these random spikes that Destiny throws at us. It's like, you roll into a level 24 mission, but these guys might as well be level 56.
I know exactly how you feel with that one, yeah.
The amount of damage you're going to do. It's like, okay, but you just said you're repeating the same levels, but that's exactly what you do in Diablo. Again, yes, I graciously accept that. However, Diablo kept giving me new shit. I kept getting stronger and tougher and better, and it's just dropping pennies and mana from heaven on top of me. And it's like, oh, this axe is better, but this pole arm's tougher. I've now got enough points to open up the Nephilim Rift. Yes, Nephilim Rift, I'm guaranteed to get some good stuff. Super difficult. Can I clear this one in X amount of time and get extra bonuses? And it's like constant progression and pushing. This is the one key point I think Bungie's missed.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reward for the survivalist levels that they seem to be giving, the toughness to the NPCs. It's like I was doing a bounty mission again earlier today, and it was the one where you've got to kill the gigantic floating eye at the end. What the hell was it called again?
Septus Prime.
Yeah, Septus Prime, right? I've done it about 1,000,000 times, but I'm running in it, and you can't choose the difficulty. You can't up the difficulty on it, whatnot, because it's a raider or striker, whatever the hell you call it. But it's on easy anyway, and the enemies are still packing a hell of a punch. I'm thinking it's not got any easier getting to where I am now at level 26. They're still hitting me really hard. If not, it feels like they're hitting me harder. And is that just because I'm level 26, so it automatically ups level when I get in there? But even though their level still shows being so low, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what's happening there. But it's almost like all my equipment and all the levels that you have, it makes absolutely no goddamn difference, to be honest.
Well, that's been another huge thing that people have been crying out about, is why does my gun that has 300, 400 damage hit this guy for 36?
Yeah. Well, it's like I recently got a new pulse rifle, and you know that one you get for have you completed the game yet actually before I go on?
No, I have. Spoiler alert to anybody who hasn't. You might want to tune out at this point because I get a feeling that he's gonna. Yeah, You're gonna divulge.
I'm gonna divulge the information. Basically, you get given a gun at the end of the game, right? And it's a pretty decent gun, and when you upgrade it and whatnot, it is pretty good. So, when you get past that, I got a legendary engram for a new pulse rifle, and it's got a hell of a lot more damage than the one that you get given at the end of the game does, and everything like that. But it's crap compared to this other one. I was getting headshots every time, no problem whatsoever. The aiming, the aiming on it was fantastic. On the one that you get at the end of the game, the aiming on it was fantastic. The target acquisition, everything, the stability, great. Now I've got this other legendary gun, which is way high above the bloody thing. And the damage is something crazy, I don't know, to be honest, I can't even remember. It's 400 odd, whatever. But it doesn't take out the enemies like this level, whatever it is, 17 gun did. It doesn't make any sense. It's I'm literally having to put more shots into it than this gun that was lower level. And I've fully upgraded it, and it's still crap. Yeah, no,
again, the that just random difficulty change, I just can't get my head around it. It's like the Queen's Wrath mission that Absolutely and I did first thing this evening. He had basically run through this on his own at level 24. Now he's now level he's now level 27, and it was very much a case of these enemies were putting him down within a couple of shots. I was level 21, so these things were absolutely steamrolling me. I had no choice but to hide and run for cover whenever the opportunity presented itself, and try and chip damage them as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, I had done the same thing with the Queen's Wrath missions. I had been doing it solo for a little while. I did the one where, the first mission where you go and get your warp drive sort of thing. You get given that one.
Yeah.
I did that solo, and it was tough, I gotta say, but I did it. And then I did the other one where you've got to kill the Vex, like, I don't know what the hell it is, but it's like a mainframe thing going on, and one of those Vex units that has the shield on half of its side.
Yeah, no.
There's a mission where it drops down in the center.
I was going to say the Harpies, but it's not one of those. But I know the ones you're on about, yeah.
But there's a mission where it drops in like an arena area sort of thing, and you've got to take it out. But it's a pretty damn tough mission anyway, because you get the enemies left, right, and center trying to take you out. Did that solo, and then I went back to the first one where you get the warp drive again and got my ass kicked. And I'm thinking, what's the difference?
It's like, what has changed? Why all of a sudden have I gone from being ultra mega badass number one?
It seems to be like 24, 25, you're like the god of death. And then you hit 26, no, you're just rubbish. It's just weird.
But again,
for me anyway.
It is so random with how it spikes that. And where I've seen a lot of complaints and heard a lot of complaints is from the community saying it's like, well, it was like this in the beta, and Bungie's turned around and basically said, yeah, we kind of noticed that, but we haven't fixed that yet.
Yeah, I noticed that, and even in the alpha stage where...
How did you not address this? How did this get past your playtesting and quality assurance if you knew that this was fundamentally broken?
Sure, that was one of the main things that they should have looked at with all these people basically testing it for them.
Well, that's what you presume and hope for. But again, the principle kind of... Well, the game was ready when it was at beta. Beta was only... Beta, wherever you're from in the world. The game was ready. And they couldn't change it at that point. Everything had to be day one or post-launch patch. There's absolutely no bones about that. So I guess in a result, if Bungie had only noticed it, they didn't leave themselves a great deal of time to actually to resolve it. There's not a great deal you can do in those last couple of weeks, because essentially what you're then in the hands of as a publisher is they're itching to get this stuff out through distribution, get it to retail, all the different methods of making money that they want to employ. And I understand that, this game's been worked on for a long time, bills have to be paid.
But then do you think with the alpha and the beta thing, right? Obviously the game was finished at that stage. Completely done. Maybe a couple of bugs, testing out the servers and whatnot. But I get the alpha, but the beta, do you think they could have left that out and maybe have not spoiled the game as much? Because for me personally, I went everywhere on the alpha and the beta, and when I got to the actual retail version, I was kind of like, oh, I've seen all this.
Yeah, I suppose that's actually a very fair point. The fact is, we did get a lot in. I only played it from the beta. I didn't have the alpha, but apples is apples. Yeah, there was a lot that we did get to see and experience, even including up to the moon in the beta.
Yeah,
we got to see that. Now, yeah, I suppose there was that, but they had to stress test it. They had to make sure, and I will still give Bungie that certainly did pay off. The stress testing, it actually took the information from We had 4.6 million people sign up and play the beta, and yeah, the servers have been relatively stable for the most part. Now, that being said, I will give Bungie their due. I'm just going to interrupt the video I've got playing here in the background for your viewing pleasure, and bring up the latest patch notes for what's been released today. And yeah, I was just taking a look at this earlier. So patch 1.02 is up and running. Summary with this patch. Now this was a huge complaint with everybody, and this is number one with regards to the Cryptarch.
Oh God!
And the random rickrolling that you would get. It's like, oh, I've got a rare engram. Oh, I've got a legendary engram. What
Just
did
like
I
me
get?
today.
What I get? Great. Thanks. I've had about 15,000 of those pickups, and I'm only one of these. So now, legendary purple engrams will always produce legendary quality item or higher. Legendary engrams that exist in your inventory will change to rare quality items when the patch is applied. However, the code in these engrams will still produce the same results as before. Rare blue engrams will always produce a rare quality item or higher. Chance for legendary to increase materials ascendant shards ascendant energy promoted to legendary quality from rare quality. And I've noticed that immediately because I had a couple of ascendant shards and energy in my inventory, and they've been bumped up.
As of what time did that become active?
That literally, well, I got home at 6:30 this evening, fired up my Xbox probably about 10 to 7, and literally the patch was ready for download when I logged in. So I don't know exactly when that rolled out, but that's definitely been today.
Well, it's early. I did get a patch earlier today. I must have did it just before the patch became available, sort of thing. But I was like, I thought this was getting patched today because I'm still getting bloody greens from blues. But I hope maybe it's just a case where I missed it by a hair.
Yeah, well, maybe that was the case. Maybe there was just a little bit of differential in the patch roll at times. But you know, that's a big one to address. I think the biggest one that they do need to get to grips with right about now is the difficulty. I mean, we also need to get a wiggle on with some new content.
Oh God, yeah.
Bungie, if you're listening, we need some new sites, or even just see again another thing that Borderlands and, well, not so much Borderlands, but definitely Diablo had in its advantage. In games like Torchlight, I don't know if you've ever played those, Torchlight 1 and 2. Great little dungeon crawlers.
I've seen them.
Exactly the same vein as Diablo. I recommend anybody try them out. They're dirt cheap these days, and they're a lot of fun to play. They use procedural generating techniques to vary the enemies and loot positions. So even though you're technically playing through the same map, and some of the dungeons can randomly generate, so they're not always the same layout, I realise there's absolutely no chance of building random generation into Destiny. It's not possible, not with the way the 3D worlds are constructed. But dear God in heaven, we need some new things to look at.
Yeah.
I have seen the Black Garden mission too many times from my run-throughs, and I'm not the only one who's thinking that as well.
Weren't you disappointed, right, about the reef? Like, did you not think there was going to be something to do in there?
Well, no, I didn't actually, because just looking at it, you know, obviously it looked like a kind of asteroid belt of garbage out there in space.
But how cool would it have been to have done, like, let's say, an asteroid mission, like, or there's like abandoned old ship or something like that, or an old space station kicking around, you know, you jump into and get something that's in there. Or I just think they could have done something with that.
We are going to need to see something of that ilk. I get the feeling that the hardcore are going to stick with it, because I know there's a lot of people I know who have just ran through the game and just, you know, that challenge, that grind can be addicting.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I get that fully. But I think for the mass populace, you know, this isn't grinding in Call of Duty where every match you play is different, or grinding in Battlefield where every match is different. Yeah, I don't quite know where I was going with that analogy. Same point, twice, 2 different games.
No, but yeah, I think. I mean, I know they're bringing out the 2 new story episodes that you've got to pay for via either the season pass or the singularly through the whatever PSN or Xbox stores. But I don't know if I'm willing to pay £40.
Yeah, it's a big. I think also it's a little bit of a catch. They say, yes, we're bringing out 2 packs. You can only buy them as 2 combined packs. Why can't I buy them individually? That might be more expensive, but there's people who won't want to commit.
But then, I mean,
the price initially.
The price, I think, is a bit too high. I mean, I thought the price if you're looking at nothing but storyline, the price for the actual game is a bit steep when you think about it. I mean, look at Titanfall. That's the storyline on that, the story mode on that, whatever, was just run through some of the multiplayer maps.
Non-existent, yes.
Pretty much non-existent. But, and the price of that these days is reflecting that. But it's just the fact that you've paid your £40, £50 for your basic copy of Destiny, and now they're asking you to pay another whatever it is. It's under £40 anyway, and it's like £30 odd.
£35 last I looked.
And it's like, yeah, but how long is this going to do me for? Is this basically me buying a new game? Is these 2 story arcs are going to be like 3 missions on each one, and then you're done? So you've got like a 6 mission thing in total. Are you actually going to get any items from it? And
my biggest concern is, even if each of these add-on packs is a single planet, similar to what we had with when you expand to Venus and Mars, so on and so forth, I still don't think that's going to be enough for the money.
Well, I've seen it on I heard the other day that due to some patch update or whatever like that, it was showing you the missions for the upcoming season pass content update sort of thing, and it was showing you, I can't remember what planet it was on, but it was only showing up as the usual mission circle or whatever you want to call it, and it's like, you've not. And it was coming up on some people's thing is you don't have the prerequisites or something like that to play it. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's not actually going to be anything new. It's going to be in this, well, maybe a different bit surroundings, but it's going to be in the same planets that we're used to already.
That we've already seen. No, certainly, and again, it's just the lack of areas now. It was great the first time you rocked into a place, you saw it, it was beautiful, it's wonderfully well presented. But now, we've seen everything multiple times. We're now grinding out with increasingly varied difficulty, and, that's kind of turning me off a little bit. But, not to finish on a negative note, because, for anybody who's sticking with us, they'll probably be running out of patience right about now. I'm interested to see where Bungie are going. I'm actually more interested to see, kind of morbid curiosity to see what Bungie are going to do to pull this around.
Yeah. Free content.
Free content, please. Be nice. Just a couple of missions, just to keep the... people have spent a lot of money on this game, invested a huge amount of time. I mean, I'd be scared to see how much time has actually been logged in this in a case of like play hours and such like that. I'm sure it's staggering since launch.
I'd love to know how my time is.
I'd rather not. But Outcast, again, I'm going to take this time to thank you for joining me on the channel. I'd like to thank all our viewers who've tuned in and stuck with us. Hope you like the new layout. We're going to be using this going forward.
See my beautiful face.
Exactly. I mean, that is worth the price of admission alone, which is why these videos are free to watch. Sorry, man. I'm here too. That doesn't exactly count me any favours. But I know you've got some new content coming up soon. What's going to be happening on your channel coming up?
Oh, we're going to be looking at some indie games mainly. I was trying to stay away from Let's Plays, but it keeps on pulling me back in.
It's pulling you in.
Yeah, we're going to be doing
Just
some...
when you thought you were out,
It keeps on pulling me in.
pulled you back in.
We're going to be doing some...
reference for those who don't know.
going to be doing some of the PS3 HD remasters. So I've got quite a few of those, you know, like the Devil May Cry, the Kingdom Hearts, things like that. We're going to try our hands at some of that. Yep. Got the HD remaster of that ready to go. And basically, Halloween's coming up, so there's going to be some nice, scary games. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about out on the next-gen console. Well, current-gen consoles now.
Current gen now, yes.
So yeah, look for that.
Good to know. I'll be certainly checking that out. And again, if you haven't already done so, please go to Outcast channel, subscribe, check out his videos. There's a wealth of content there for your viewing pleasure.
100+ videos, people.
100+, and more coming all the time. I myself, my next project is going to be, I do a lot of World of Tanks, but I'm kind of taking a little break from that at the moment. I'm going to be doing some, taking a leaf out of your book, Outcast. I'm actually going to be taking a Let's Play in the Shadows of Mordor.
Oh, right, okay.
Which I've now got my hands on the PC, released on Steam, so look for that content coming soon. We can see just how bad I am at that, because it's going to be a live record, none of these edited footage of brilliant games and matches to make you look awesome. But if you've been watching this video in the background, you've probably just watched me die about 15 times, and you're probably quite bored of looking at that anyway. But again, Outcast, thank you for your time. To
no problem.
Our viewers, if you like the video, please like it. If you dislike it, leave a comment in the section down below. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, check out some of the other content, and check out my man Outcast's content as well. There's a lot of good stuff over there. You won't be disappointed. So, Outcast, thanks again. I'll
see you later, guys.
In the next one.
Bye.
Bye.